Police in Switzerland have confirmed several people have been killed and several others injured in a fire at a ski resort. It took place at around 1:30 a.m. local time in the town of Crans-Montana in a bar called Constellation, which is popular with tourists. Social media footage shows a fierce fire burning at a bar where New Year's Eve celebrations had been taking place. Police say the cause of the fire is unknown. These are the latest pictures that we've just received from a BBC journalist who is in Crans-Montana. As you can see, the area near the bar is closed off. Police say the no-fly zone is in force. And to repeat, they've not confirmed the cause of the explosion, but it happened during New Year's Eve celebrations. Let's speak now to our correspondent, Will Vernon, who's been speaking to the local police today. Can you just talk us through, Will, what you've been hearing?
Yeah, that's right, Lucy. I spoke to the police a little bit earlier who said that this incident happened at 01:30, so 1:30 in the morning local time in a bar called La Constellation in the town of Crans, Montana. They said that the cause of this explosion or fire, it's not entirely clear at the moment whether it was an explosion or a fire. They're saying that the cause of it isn't clear at this time. Several people dead and several injured. Now, this resort is a pretty upmarket ski resort. It's popular with British tourists in the Valais region of Switzerland. It's a year-round resort, so popular with tourists all year. And the resort itself was actually due to hold a pretty prestigious speed skiing international competition at the end of January. So, it's a prestigious upmarket location. I was looking at some of the pictures online of the bar itself, La Constellation, where this incident took place. Again, it looks like a luxury venue. There's also been footage uploaded to social media of the incident itself, where you can see a large fire in the building where the bar is, and a huge emergency service presence there. A short while ago, the police released an official statement on their website as well, where they said that the area has been cordoned off, that emergency vehicles are in attendance there. There's even been a no-fly zone imposed in the area. So clearly a very serious incident that's taken place there, but details still coming in. Most importantly of all, of course, exactly how many people have been killed in this incident.
Initially, it was being described as an explosion, wasn't it? But now they're describing it as a fire. There had been some talk of perhaps fireworks being involved. What did you hear about that?
Yeah, that's right. When I first spoke to a police spokesperson shortly after, we got the first reports of this incident happening, the police used the word explosion with me, and as I understand it with several other media. A short time ago, the police released an official statement on their website where there is no mention of the word explosion. They use the word fire. So it's not entirely clear what exactly happened. As you say, local media are saying that this incident took place during a New Year's Eve party in the bar, that there were more than 100 people in attendance. The police statement confirms that there were more than 100 people in attendance. And there has been speculation that perhaps this fire was started by some sort of fireworks or pyrotechnics in that party, but that is unconfirmed at this time. There's no official confirmation of what started this fire or explosion, so we'll have to wait a little while longer. We're expecting the police to give a news conference soon, so perhaps there'll be more details during that about what exactly caused this fire.
There's been a huge response from the emergency services, hasn't there, Will?
Yeah, that's right. In the police statement, which I'm just opening now, police is mentioned and ambulance services as well, firefighters. As I say, a no-fly zone has been imposed in the area, so clearly a huge response from the emergency services. At this time of year, obviously it was New Year's Eve, the peak really of the winter season, in a popular bar right in the centre of town. This would have been packed at the time of the incident. No confirmation yet of how many casualties, but the word that the police spokesperson used with me earlier was several dead. Now, it's not clear how many, how many have died, but he did say several dead and several injured. So we'll have to wait and see what kind of figures we get a bit later.
OK, thank you very much, Will Vernon, for us there in the newsroom. Well, we can go now to our colleague Sylvia Costello, who is in the Crown Montana resort now. Hello to you, Sylvia. Can you tell us what you've been hearing?
So I'm here, as you say, in Crown Montana. I'm standing at the police cordon here. You can see behind me the site of this explosion. The Constellation bar is kind of to the left there. Now, literally in the last few minutes, the police have been putting up these white screens as they continue working their forensic work at the Constellation. So far, the details coming out are very small. We don't know the number of casualties yet. There is a fear, however, by the size of this operation. And I've just spoken to a Swiss journalist who, off the record, said they are expecting quite a high death toll. We don't know what happened in the bar last night. What we do know is that at 1:30, there was an explosion. I spoke to some people who heard the explosion, and then they heard hours of ambulances afterwards. Of course, this is New Year, so there would have been fireworks, there would have been chaos. And one man told me he actually wondered whether the ambulances were just because people had drunk too much or kind of reveled too much. But unfortunately, a scene of absolute chaos unfolded here last night. I drove past the Constellation bar just half an hour before the explosion happened. There were people in the streets. Like in many other countries here in Switzerland, people have to have their own fireworks. There's a big valley here, and if you're on any balcony, you can see fireworks throughout the whole valley, people enjoying the night, and it's just a real atmosphere of shock here today.
And the people who would have been in that bar at the time would have been a mixture of local people and tourists?
Absolutely. So the Constellation bar is a real institution here. It's been around since I was a teenager, it's been around for at least 40 years. It's a big bar and it's not posh. This is quite a nice sort of posh ski resort. There's quite a lot of luxury. It was famous in the 80s for hosting the World Cup skiing, and it's coming back next year. So it's a really sort of happening place. But it is quite luxury. It's quite a lot of the bars are on that side, sort of quite luxury. But the Constellation was not like that. It's a really big bar. It's got an upstairs with TV screens where people go and watch football matches. I was talking to an English tourist earlier who said, I go there and I watch, I just watch the football here, the footy, when it comes on. And downstairs, it just had a big kind of bar and space where I suppose yesterday people would have been dancing and drinking. You go there for beers. It's just a very kind of young bar. It would have been a mixture of young people. It would have been Swiss people. It would have been people coming up from the valleys to celebrate here in Crans Montana, which is just such a lovely, fun ski resort. But there would have been obviously a mixture of nationalities as well. One would think who would be celebrating there last night.
And as you say, Sylvia, the authorities haven't told us the exact number of casualties involved, but they have put out a statement saying a large contingent of police, firefighters and rescue personnel immediately responded to help assist the victims. That does suggest several people have died in this incident.
We are bracing ourselves. We are absolutely bracing ourselves for this being a big incident. As I say, I spoke to a local Swiss journalist earlier. He's fed up. He's from the Swiss-speaking part of Switzerland, which is down the valley. This is the French-speaking part of Switzerland. He shot up. He got woken up from his editors at 6 o'clock in the morning. He was right down here, and he's expecting the numbers to be big, unfortunately. But we don't know yet. We don't know yet. There is hope. But I mean, look at the size of this operation. Look at the huge barrier that's been put out there where the forensic work is going on. This was a big bar. You will have seen those pictures of the fire engulfing the bar. I mean, we hope that the casualties are low, but we are bracing for the worst.
And Sylvia, is the hospital nearby where you are?
This is a rich part of Switzerland. We're in the Valais. It's a French-speaking part of Switzerland. It's got fantastic world-leading infrastructure. There are obviously, there are hospitals, there are clinics here in Crans. I don't know where people are being taken to, but there have been helicopters overnight. There have been helicopters flying this morning. I don't know if survivors have been taken, where they have been taken, but there is no doubt that the care and the interest and the sort of the focus of resource here will be big. This is a very, very, very rich part of the world, and there will be good infrastructure in place to look after people. There's a line that's been set up of victims, for families who don't know, maybe their kids have gone out, they don't know they've come back yet. So there's a hotline that people can call as well, which is on the BBC Live page. But absolutely, there will be hospitals, everyone will be on high alert. This is the first of the year. It was supposed to be a kind of a happy morning where people sort of woke up too late. The ski slopes yesterday were absolutely heaving. There are a lot of people here. It was crazy on the ski slopes yesterday. And then in the afternoon, everyone kind of went away because they were all getting ready for last night. And this morning would have been different on the ski slopes. It would have been quite empty because people would have just been sleeping in after sort of reveling last night. But yes, a very unexpected incident somewhere like here.
Yeah, absolutely shocking stuff. Well, thank you so much, Sylvia of Costello, for us there. And as we've mentioned, the authorities are expected to give a news conference in the next few hours. They said later on this morning sometime. So, of course, we will bring you that as and when it happens. Let's bring in our correspondent, Imogen Folks, who's in Bern for us. What more can you tell us, Imogen?
Well, it's clear that this is a very major incident. We have heard what the police are saying, several dead, many injured. We know that the burns units in the major hospitals in the region, that would be in Sion, Geneva, possibly Lausanne, have been mobilized, and that there is a big rescue operation and research operation going on now in Crans-Montana to find out what actually caused this terrible fire. We've heard reports of explosions before the fire started. There are suggestions, but I have to say these are only suggestions at the moment, that it may have been caused by fireworks going off in the cellar of the bar. Of course, it's New Year's Eve. Fireworks are very common here, but this is speculation. We have to wait for the authorities to tell us more. But as I said, a real tragedy when people were celebrating the new year, hoping, as the person you talked to just before said, to enjoy a beautiful winter's day in the mountains and bring in 2026 on the ski slopes.
Is it quite usual for individual bars and small companies to have their own little fireworks displays on New Year's?
So what I would say to you is that I was here on my own balcony last night watching multiple fireworks from friends, from neighbours, from the local community just down in the valley. You could see them dotted around all the way along. It's common on New Year. There are, however, strict rules where you can let them off and where you can't. In the capital city, Bern, which is just a bit behind me that way, there were big signs all of yesterday saying you can celebrate here, but you can't let off fireworks. So fireworks common, fireworks in private hands, yes, but strict rules as to how you should use them. But we should again stress it's speculation up to this point whether fireworks were actually involved.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much. That's our correspondent, Imogen Folks, joining us from Bern.